All right, hey guys, this is Winterhouse Gaming Podcast. My name's David.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Kelly.
All right.
No, you're not.
Who am I?
You're Tony.
Okay, then you're Kelly.
Name's Tony, and all of their possessions are Tony.
That's good because I was super confused about that. Yeah. Anyway, we have Silver Paladin Gaming here.
What's going on?
What's up, guys?
Go ahead and introduce you guys.
My name is Jason, aka Toos.
I'm Cheryl.
Cheryl, hello Cheryl. So we were just sitting here talking, rambling, and then I realized it was 12 o'clock and we needed to be streaming.
Yeah. I actually kind of saved him from that because we were all getting into it.
Did
the time that we promised them.
I know. I'm 1 minute late. I'm not super happy about being late.
I was like, hey, is there a certain time that we need to get this shindig on the road by? He's like, yeah, actually, we need to be doing it right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well,
Dave, I'm late.
We should do that.
You're late.
In the baby,
in the baby department. You want to know something we also didn't do because we were too busy doing everything else?
What?
Just update the friggin' dashboard on Twitch.
Oh.
Whoops.
So I apologize for anybody that's looking at it and trying to figure out.
We're not actually playing
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We are totally playing Monster Hunter right now.
So I apologize. Okay, there's things going on. We're trying to get things rolling. Blah, blah, blah. And don't forget drinks. We do have some drinks with us.
Yes.
We just got to let you guys know right now that Winterhouse Gaming is about gaming, video games mostly, but we brought Silver Paladin Gaming in for a couple different reasons. First reason is they're super cool.
Yeah.
Go on their Twitch, check them out. I've watched a couple of their things that they were doing. It's very interesting if you have any interest in gaming at all, really, and you've never seen tabletop gaming RPGs or anything like that.
You guys have Facebook and Instagram too?
Like none of us have.
Facebook, not Instagram.
Instagram's something we need to incorporate. We haven't done so yet.
Yeah,
we have a very active Facebook page.
Yeah.
We're constantly posting questions of the day to get responses.
I love the fact that you do that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It sucks that every time I see them, I'm like at work and I'm like, I don't have time to answer.
I'll respond to them later. Respond to a 2-day-old question if you have a good
and then,
2-day-old question.
Life happens, and then I get busy, and then I forget.
Yeah.
Yes, because forgetting happens the older you get.
Yeah.
So we try to keep a very active community on our Facebook page. So it shows we recently reached 100 followers.
Yeah,
was it
just hit 100
like a week ago or something?
Like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, so everyone go on their Facebook and go like them.
Yeah,
It's super
absolutely
awesome
because
when you hit those landmarks, it's like kind of like super awesome to kind of have that kind of like get that affirmation or that like that validation.
And that's
you guys just hit 100. We hit 300 on our page not too long ago.
I did not even remember that.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so their page is cool. The one thing I like about their page is they ask questions almost every single day. I think that's really cool. I caught my dad on there randomly.
I saw that.
Is that comparable to catching your dad watching porn?
Yeah. It was like, okay, something I like to do, and now my dad's doing it, so now I'm going to go on there immediately and unfollow. No, I'm just joking.
You call them up and you're just like, Dad, we have to talk about something.
Yeah.
I caught you answering an RPG question.
What are you doing?
Explain this.
Dad, you don't even play any sort of games besides Yahtzee on the toilet.
Are you a closet role player, Dad?
Yeah. It was really funny. That was Rick Rogers.
I have a story about that.
It was really funny. So, I just want to let you guys know that King Spider 2000 said, hi, Jason and Cheryl.
That's John, by the way.
Oh, hello, John.
Hi, John.
Yep.
Hi.
You couldn't make it down but
We miss you already.
He has to work later.
You're a new friend, but we miss you.
Yes.
Yeah. Your presence is greatly missed.
Wish you were here postcard.
Yeah. So, tabletop gaming. I get the silver. I get the paladin thing. Tell us about the gaming.
It started out as a project that John approached me about. The idea of just forming a podcast around gaming in general. Originally started as mostly the tabletop stuff, but we kind of want to branch it out, trying to encompass all aspects of gaming. We do try to talk about video game stuff. We're trying to get, hopefully in the future, some more video game streams as well. But mostly tabletop right now, and with some board games here and there that we try to get in there.
And Bert's doing snack sort of recipe things.
John's wife Bert does an amazing video. She'll be starting that back up, hopefully, I think in the next week or so. I can't remember what the exact date was. We'll let you go on the Facebook page.
Okay.
But she does a video where she teaches you how to make quick, easy snacks for gamers. People just want something quick and easy to snack on.
That's sort of like that YouTube channel, Nerdy Nummies.
I don't actually check that out. Okay.
Yeah, Nerd Movies is really good.
I'll check that out then.
Yeah.
I've never heard of any of that, so it's all new to me, and that's great because I can ask questions
Nerdy
about
Nummies
it.
is actually really cool.
Yeah,
That reminded me of that.
Yeah.
It's more about just the joy of playing games and building the community of people who play them and friendships you develop over it.
It's
Do you have any thoughts on it,
fantastic
too?
that we all have.
Give you a chance to speak.
Yeah, just butt right in because that's what we do.
Especially because
You gotta be aggressive with us, guys.
how long have you been playing with John?
I've known John since I think 2006.
Yeah. And
does
I
it-
think right after, well, it was like the day after Great Falls Comic Con, because I had screwed up my ankle and I needed help unloading stuff, and you came over. And I was like, I really want to get back gaming because our last game group fell apart. And he's like, well, come play with us. And that was like September or so.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'll call John. I'll message John right now. Message John like, my friend Cheryl will join. He's like, sure.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're in.
That's the easiest gaming group to do. It's just like, this is gonna happen. Yeah, I'll be there. It just happens.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it.
It's awesome. Like
That's
when
kinda
something is
how
so
Winterhouse
inclusive
happened, too.
Like that. Like so often you have people like that are just like they kind of treat it like they put it on a pedestal and they like it's very exclusive.
Well,
And-
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. You can interrupt.
I mean, you don't want to get especially in the world of tabletop gaming, you don't want the group so large that it becomes cumbersome. I mean, the ideal situation to me is anywhere from 4 to 6 players and a GM. 8 is doable. Once you start beyond that, it gets crazy because you spend so much time going around the table waiting for turns, and it just
Yeah, that seems like it could be
I tried
kind
running a
of.
game once with I think 10 people, and it just got so bogged down because you're waiting for everyone to take their turn in combat.
It's a crowd for sure.
But it seems like you also
when you're
have
doing
to
straight
like.
up role play, it's not so bad. It's when you start getting into everyone having to roll initiative and run combat.
You have
that's when it
to
gets
manage all of
bogged
those
down.
gameplay elements between all
That's
of
kind
those
of like
people.
the only thing in this that I can relate to is Cards Against Humanity.
I was just thinking
Yes.
that.
the only
We
thing
have
I
like
can.
12 people playing.
Holy
It's like,
crap! Doesn't that get annoying?
And then some
I'm just like, I'm over it now. I can't even.
conversations
I can't even
happen, and
focus
you're
here.
Like, let's wrap it up.
and then
Yeah.
you're just like, well, this is getting boring. I'm done.
That's actually I think what Kelly and I did once.
Dude, yeah,
We had, like,
I
14
was
people
so done.
playing.
I was just like,
Was that here?
people just
Yeah.
keep
It was so many.
going off in
Um,
different directions. No one's really playing this anymore, so I'm just gonna call it.
So I
quits.
am super intrigued by this, but okay. So one question that just popped up is
okay.
You just said it becomes time consuming, and I know how long it takes to play just a simple board game like Monopoly,
Or
for
like
instance.
life,
how long?
you know?
How long? Two-part question. How long does it take to play a basic game, and then how long have you sat playing one of these tabletop RPG games in its entirety?
Okay.
And that is, I'm talking only one sitting, not
Yeah.
multiple
Gotcha.
sittings.
Okay.
It was your
14
marathon.
hours.
Well, she has
14
me. She has me beat. Okay.
14-hour
Wow.
overnight one shot.
That-
It was not a continuing campaign. It was a one shot game. We started playing just after dinner in college, and we got done. It was late again. We played
Wow.
all night.
What did you major in that allowed you to play for that long?
It was a weekend.
Okay.
It was a weekend.
I
It
can
was
see
like
that, yeah.
It was like Saturday into Sunday.
What about you two?
For me, back when I first started gaming with John, we used to do on Saturdays back at my place in one of my older apartments. We'd pay for 6 to 8 hours every Saturday. It was like just we started like 2 and like not end until like 9 or something or more later.
That's a long time. But here's the weird thing. For me, I'm sitting here like, God damn, that's a long time. But we've sat here having Minecraft sessions of like one day it was like 13, 14 hours.
Yeah, it was-
something completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, that's not that much because
Dude,
I mean you
yeah.
really
Yeah,
it's there's a time warp that happens when you're playing games and playing anything. So it's weird to me like how I feel like, oh, that's a long time, but no, it's
No,
really
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I sat for like from like 7:30 until like 1:30 playing video games on Friday yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, until I had to go to work, I was just playing video games.
You just
the
get into
entire
that
time.
mind
yeah.
that warp.
And when you get into campaigns can run for years.
Yeah, there was I saw something online. I can't remember what it was about this guy who had literally ran a campaign for 35 years, the same campaign with
How?
the same people for that long.
That blows my mind.
I don't remember the details of it. I just remember looking at like that was amazing.
That is amazing. Now, like, he would have had to keep so many notes.
Well, the video showed a picture of it. He had like draws of figures and maps and things like. I'm like,
35 years and he still had interest in this. Like,
Yeah.
Kind of
I
reminds
know.
me of like that meme of like Charlie Day with the chalkboard.
It really, I mean, how long the campaign is really depends on what the GM has designed and what the group wants to get accomplished. You have long campaigns which can run for as long as you want. It could be several months, years before it actually completes.
Right.
But you can also do one-shot nights, as you mentioned earlier, where you just someone designs a quick adventure that can be done in just a few hours or so in one evening. You get together, you get to the story, go through the story arc, and finish it in just one setting.
Right.
So that is something an option too. And
Yeah.
but
So,
I would imagine that
King
probably
Spider. Oh, go ahead.
You
Oh,
want
wait.
to let me maybe finish my question?
can I finish?
You always finish first. I'm sick of it.
I finish quick.
He is.
Those one shots would you say that's like ideal for people that are just busting into it, where it's not
Like
too
Tony.
overbearing and it's not too too in depth for like a new player like myself or Dave.
I mean, could a new player get into a 10-hour game? Like,
Yeah, I mean, any
stay-
new player I think could get into even a long-going game. If they don't like it and drop out, that's fine. At least they get to try it.
Right.
The advantage to the one-shot one is that you get to experience the game from beginning to finish. Especially, and this is great for people who have busy schedules. They can't really commit to doing it every week, but they really want to sit down and just experience the game. Doing it one night's great because you get the experience from beginning to end. You get to see the final end of the story.
Right.
Everything's wrapped up.
You get that full experience.
Exactly,
In
yeah,
one
and-
sitting.
Yeah, resolution, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Closure.
and to go back, like, you're talking like my record,
I'm
of course,
streaming
playing
for closure.
video games for a long time is much bigger than that. When you're playing a video game like by yourself or something, it's just you have to worry about. It's like I can do this, I can play for this long. When
Right.
you're in a group, everyone has to be on the same page and be like, okay, I can handle this for that long. I mean, if half the group says I can't play anymore for the night, then pretty much I have to wrap it up
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
So everyone has to be on the same page for it to last. So to actually play a game for like 8 hours is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that is impressive.
To get a group of people to sit down that long to play a game
Yeah.
together, it's
Well,
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like the LARP, I do every LARP session 6 hours minimum.
Yeah. That's. I mean. That seems like a reasonable amount of time. I mean, a different creature for sure.
I was actually wanting to go
it's a little
into
bit-
depth with LARPing.
Well, let's go real quick. King Spider said he did 24 hours one time. Also,
I'm not surprised. Not surprised. at all.
also, she majored in
Marathon
RPG.
man over here.
That's what you went to school for, is what I was told. And he goes, "Oh my God, Notes, tell me about it." And yes, they're new. If they are new, one shots are perfect. So that does validate that,
That
for
answers
sure.
that question, yeah.
Yeah. So he really wants to ask about LARPing. Do you want to go
I
into
really
LARPing?
want to ask about it. So said I wanted to ask.
Okay.
You brought it up now. The can is open.
The monkey's out of the bottle now.
Since we're who we are and we like to make jokes consistently about crazy things, we have made jokes about LARPing. Okay, I know you get.
I've cracked jokes about it. I still enjoy it.
Well, there are movies that
roleplay.
basically make jokes
Yeah.
out of LARPing. What's the one with Paul Rudd and Dax Shepard?
That was a great
basically?
movie. I
Yeah,
love that
haven't
movie.
seen it, but
Can't remember the name of it, but I loved it.
It's like kind of like, I'd say if I was like really into LARPing, part of me would be kind of upset that like they kind of like kind of paint LARPing as this kind of
I know
like
which one you mean.
ridiculous.
No, it's not that wrong. That's the thing. It's
I was
not
gonna
that
say,
wrong.
like, if you're saying like this ridiculous nerdy thing, it is exactly a ridiculous nerdy thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the second I told my brother that I had you guys coming on and that you did tabletop RPGs and all this stuff, and he goes, "Are you guys gonna like stop in the middle of the podcast and LARP it out?"
I mean, bring over your extra robe.
We break out the full weapons around you and see. Have that.
No, we got real
So if you
weapons.
see,
real weapons.
Well, great.
See, you can't take those to a LARP. Those will not be allowed.
Fantasy LARP is Vampire the Masquerade, which means you get super geeky goth, kids.
Kelly
LARPing.
kind of LARPs is that he brings his axe everywhere.
Whereas the LARPs I've been to have been more fantasy based, like the Dungeons and Dragons like style fantasy
Right.
worlds. There's a couple Lexicon and Mistwood in the main area that I've been to.
I heard of Lexicon.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've been to one of them. I went to one of them. The other one I went to two. But it's been a while, so I can't remember which one I went to two events for. But it was a fun experience. It actually requires. I mean, of course, you fight with the foam or weapons within it, but it requires you to actually have some skill. Like, you actually, in order to attack someone, you actually have to be successfully hit them, and they can actually block you.
Yeah, which is a little different from what I do, because
or you got the
vampires.
Yes,
will allow
packet.
for
I was the wizard. I was throwing those little
fireballs.
little packets filled with bird seed, and I'm chucking them, going fireball, fireball, lightning bolt.
Hey, at least you were nice about the environment and stuff, and like the birds could eat them. And like,
Yeah.
which is a little different from
That's
what
actually
I do,
like
because
no,
as a
that's
vampire,
like
you're not
he actually
allowed
like
to do that.
had a net.
You're not
and-
allowed to actually act out combat that much. Everything's based off of rock, paper, scissors.
Well, the ones I went to, they actually fight with
Especially
swords.
especially because you're
See,
doing,
that would be
you
the
know,
kind of LARPing that
vampire
I'd wanna do.
disciplines, which
Wait,
you
is that the
can't act
separation?
out.
Is that the separation between like LARPing and reenactments?
Well, I mean, reenactments.
Reenactment's a whole.
The idea is like reenacting something already happened. This is just LARPing is just taking a tabletop game and bringing it
into a live action.
Granted, once you
action,
get
yeah.
into like SCA, that's total LARPing. It's just an
Wait,
entirely
SCA,
different.
what is that? SCA?
Society Creative Anachronism. They do like Ren Fair stuff. That's totally a form of LARPing. I don't care what they say.
I
it's
want to
LARPing.
actually get
I'd
into
say
that
that-
type of stuff. I want to get into the Ren
Now-
Fair type stuff for Viking.
I'd
for
say
Viking
that
type
like
stuff.
LARPing is like the VR equivalent of like tabletop RPG because you get like the total immersion.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is also you're dressing up like your character.
Yeah.
Most LARPs, if you're playing an alien race that has
Whoa.
blue skin, you're required to show up looking like your character.
Now, like, is there like how much of like a like for people to get really into it? How much of like a cosplay element is there? Like, do you have people that actually like sew their own costumes and like you know?
What you're playing. My vampire character Bruja, she's basically a street brawler. So she comes in jeans, t-shirt. You know,
She basically just dresses up like Ken and Ryu.
Yeah.
it's not a big elaborate costume, but there's some people who play characters who have abilities called flesh crafting. So they're coming in with like prosthetics on their face.
Yeah. It's so.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
I mean, how much you spend on really depends on, because when the LARPs I went to, they say, okay, these are the pamphlets. These are the characters you can play. Build your character, and pick your character wisely. Because if you pick one, we're requiring you, and it mostly comes out of your pocket. A lot of some of them have like certain items you can borrow to wear for certain things. Mm-hmm. But for example, I played an elf in one of them, and I had to buy myself elf ears. Which, by the way, also worked really well when I did my cosplay for Nightcrawler. So I ended up getting one use out of that.
So, I mean, it's really safe to say that LARPing jokes is the new fart jokes, right? I mean, is that...
They kind of sound similar.
It does.
LARP.
It does.
I'm not allowed LARP today.
I also want to throw in there that King Spider says that he loves LARPers, even though it sounds like Leaper.
I'm a LARPer.
Yeah. So okay. So
You're a lurker?
A lurker.
if I wanted to get into that, I don't. But I mean, it is Halloween every year. I mean, every day of the year. And,
Dude, I'd
I mean,
get into it.
And I
have no shame.
When we were
yeah, I'll
children,
do it.
when we were children,
We
didn't
did.
we just do the LARPing thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Totally.
did. We
That's
grabbed the
basically
sword.
what
Yeah, just playing pretend.
We pretended it was like a lightsaber. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much make LARPing out of anything, right? How about tic-tac-toe? I mean, do people do that, or is that?
LARPing tic-tac-toe?
I'm gonna dress up like a.
I mean, come on, why not?
See that? Someone trying to do that.
I mean, King Spider was talking about tic-tac-toe, and I'm just thinking,
I'm
okay, so I
actually
know it's
LARPing
like
the
based
game
on
of
gaming,
life,
or
but I'm
sometimes
losing.
based on gaming, sometimes based just on the
losing.
medieval interests and stuff like that, bringing things to life and all that stuff. But you can pretty much do LARPing
Well, I mean, that's
Pac-Man too,
that's
right?
basically SCA.
Yeah,
that's what they do?
Yeah, that's
And
pretty much the SCA.
So you make fun of them?
No, I don't make fun of them because they have real swords.
They show up with legit armor, legit swords. They have legit battles.
Yeah,
That's the shit that I want to do.
Okay.
I want to
If
do
I make
that
fun of
part.
them, I'm gonna be LARPing my own funeral.
pretty much.
I mean, yeah, but okay. So here's a whole nother thing. I keep thinking about all these things popping up in
Yep.
my head. You know when you go to like those medieval dinners? I mean, that's all
Yep.
they're doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Actually-
maybe a little bit more theater.
So why do I feel like this is such a nerdy thing, but it's really
I always
not?
wanted to go to those. I wanted to just have a big turkey leg. And
Oh,
a big,
you're gonna- yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna
I
go
guess
with
I
my
have to-
horn and fill it with beer.
He does. He's
I think
into.
where the I think where the
Vikings.
nerdiness comes in is just how in depth it gets.
Yeah.
Like.
Where's my sword, mother?
I
It's
think
not even that. It's like I'm not just like I'm not just playing that once a month when they have the things going, I'm having like email scenes with people that are going on.
Yeah, that didn't happen a lot.
Okay, I was actually curious.
Yeah,
you mentioned something about something in an email that you wouldn't be able to respond to.
Yeah, because we'll be on
Explain
line.
to me what.
Okay,
if it's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
Explain that to me. Real quick.
So stuff happened last LARP, and I went to the guy who's playing my sire in the game and said, I want to do this with my character.
Drama.
How do we make this happen? So he's like, well, we'll start an email scene. And so we get into the email scene, start talking, and basically he's now taking me via an email scene on a road trip to Virginia, and I'm actually doing a scene with a player out of Virginia right now to get my character some extra skills and stuff that he needs.
So this is sort of mixing like the actual LARPing with like a text-based role-playing
With
at the same time.
telecommuting.
And the thing is that like probably a few days before the next LARP, I'll be basically putting all this stuff that's happened, a recap of what I did in the game, and then everything I've done between in email scenes, in an email to the guy running the game. Just give him a recap, and I get XP for doing that.
You get
the write-up.
Okay. That's how you get.
I get extra
This is
XP.
blowing my mind.
I'm getting very confused.
so much
okay.
kind of.
So we're just like,
Except
so
we're just
lost.
all over here. We're like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So
XP?
we go into a game. We go into a game and we kill monsters to get XP. You go into a discussion about something that has to do with the game, and because you were nice about it, you get XP?
No, so here's what you get. You get a certain amount of XP for the actual in-person game. You get one for coming in costume, for your actual role-playing.
Okay.
But you also get one for doing your write-up after game that recaps everything you've done in your downtime. And the downtime includes any email scenes.
Oh, so you're getting recognized through XP for doing stuff on
For
the
doing
downtime.
extra stuff.
Yeah.
That is really
And that
cool.
brings
That
me-
is actually really cool.
I bring up another good point too. Is like when it comes to like video games, as you just mentioned, you go through, you kill stuff, you get XP.
Right.
That's how most video games work.
I mean,
Instant
it's
gratification.
cut and dry. It's
Yeah.
cut and dry.
With role playing, it's not about killing your foe that gets experience. It's about overcoming a challenge. Now, whether you overcome that challenge through conversation or fighting or sneaking around or whatever you choose, as long as you're overcoming the challenge or at least attempting to roleplay through it, you can get experience.
And John gives us extra experience when we do something
John
that
is
he
a
wasn't
nice
expecting.
Nice guy. Like he sees you over there picking up someone that tripped. Like you're gonna get 5 points. Good for you.
Or I get extra XP for doing. I'm
Good
getting
job,
extra
John.
XP for doing character portraits.
Yeah, and it's not just that. I mean, John and most DMs I play with, if you are role playing a character, if your job is the thief or the rogue in the group, and you do role play something that's really within that character, and you do a really good job role playing that particular role, then you get bonus XP.
Yeah.
If you really double that character and do what that character would do, even if it's outside what you would normally do.
Yeah.
Is that
So-
like? Sorry to
ahead.
interject. Now, does that hold true for
You're not
like
sorry.
even like going briefly out of character? Like if you're having like a tabletop like game and like someone like gets sick or something, and then like they hurt themselves, and you're like, oh, you okay? And then you help them. But can your DM be like, that was cool, 10 points?
I mean, that's what the DM, if he feels it's...
Yeah, it's really up to the DM what
I mean,
they decide they want to
the
do.
DM pretty much
They're
controls
gone.
everything. The DM's job is like they control everything. They control the NPCs, the world. They're telling the story, or we're just interacting with it. It's like a shared interaction. Where DMs gives us the world, we act to it, he reacts back, and it's like we're telling a story back and forth.
I heard you have to have a very specific kind of like mindset to be a DM. Like I heard not everyone can be an effective DM.
You have to be someone who can tell a story and create with your words, because when you're doing tabletop, you don't have prompts, you don't have anything. You at best have some maps and some little figures.
Yeah.
You have to, with your words, be able to spin this situation, spin this story for your
Use your
players
words, Luke.
to visualize what's happening.
But it's more than just telling a story. You have to be able to. So sometimes players go off the map. You have to be able to think on your feet.
Yeah.
Sometimes try to get them back on track a bit.
There's a few different ways to run games. John's really good about, he has a set plot that we're doing, but I've also run games and played in games where it's basically here's a little plot hook. If you follow it, you follow it. If you don't, go off, do this, and I'll wing it.
So would you say that John's a tyrant?
That's what I heard. I heard he rules with an iron fist.
Yeah.
So wait, before I go to my next thing. I mean, accuracy on that, or
Overall,
You can't
as far as
plead the
a
fifth.
DM, he's actually a pretty fair DM.
Yeah.
okay, because
yeah.
he actually just wrote, "Yes, I control everything, and damn it, I'm a tyrant."
Hey, if you want
I'm
to
not
say it.
surprised he says that. But in all honesty, he actually is a pretty fair DM.
He's actually
that's
just
good.
he's docking you EXP right now as we speak.
Now, could you slip him?
dropped-
Oh no,
dropped,
he's
like,
plotting
30
terrible
XP.
things to do to our characters
Yes.
right now.
He is.
You're
Could
down
you-
to like 30% health.
Could you slip him a 20 to like go in your favor? Like, is there cheating that way? Like,
Oh, you have to take bribes. We're talking about
you take.
Oh,
take bribes?
totally, bro.
Is
it- oh, that's like- that's like a whole gameplay mechanic.
Gygax takes bribes. I mean, it's like DMs take bribes.
And they have not just money. Bribe them with food, bribe them with booze.
So if you had like an item in the game
Drugs.
that you could, hey,
Date
you
rape
really
them.
want this? Let's chat
Whoa,
about
whoa.
it. What are you gonna do for
Oh,
me?
let's go.
But
Yeah,
that's a little far.
As a DM, it's fine and fun to do once in a while, but as long as it makes think of it out of balance. I mean, if you
Right.
yeah.
Because if you're not making it fun for everybody else, you'll never be a DM
I
for
can
them
say
again.
anything.
Exactly.
John offered to have me give lap dances last time. So, on the street,
I have a
offered me up
question.
for lap dances.
Did
Like,
you
what
bring
the
any of
hell?
those with you?
Did you bring any like lap dances? Like bring a bag of lap dances?
Yeah.
Everybody gets
want-
a lap
I
dance.
want a ticket for it, and then I want the actual lap dance.
See, unfortunately, like I know very, very little about D&D outside like that one episode of Community.
Well, we always okay. Hold on. We keep saying D&D though.
Yes.
Oh,
But that's really not
about
no.
tabletop game.
It's the most widely known example.
Yeah, I was actually
And the
gonna-
next one would be Pathfinder.
That's another widely, as far as widely known. Yes.
Name drops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pathfinder's pretty much D&D.
I actually that
an
actually
amped up
kind of
version
like
of it.
brings up an interesting question.
With
Is
more
that
math.
It better be
like-
interesting, asshole. Go ahead.
He's just gonna quit.
Just lose a train of thought.
Are you done? Okay, go ahead. What's your question, bud?
Does it get? I don't want to say frustrating at all. That like something that I just did. You know, just name drop, just use D&D as a term, all-encompassing term for any tabletop RPG.
Oh,
No,
you did
because
just
I
do
thi-
that.
No,
Yeah,
because
I do
think
that.
that's,
Like I said, I
that's
mean-
what everyone first thinks of because it's the best known. Though we're actually not playing D&D right now. We're playing GURPS.
Oh my god, my girlfriend comes up to me and she goes, "What are you doing? Playing Skyrim?" No, I'm not. I'm playing fucking Rabbids. Like, this doesn't even look like Skyrim. What the hell's
It's like
wrong
my
with
mom
you?
thinks every game I'm playing is Mario.
My dad does that.
It's so funny.
I mean, but it's all role playing. It's
You
just,
said
I can
that.
see that.
I mean, it's all role play. It's just a matter of what system you're choosing and what type of world you're building. I mean, whether it be Western, sci-fi, fantasy, you pick the genre and you go ahead and GURPS though is very versatile.
And I played the gamut. I mean, with this group, we're doing the cyberpunk GURPS right now. Before that, we did Bunnies and Burrows. We were literally playing as have you ever read the Redwall books? Basically
Yes.
that.
Oh my god.
Where like
Thank you for name dropping
Yeah.
Redwall.
So I
I've
was
read
actually
all
playing-
of them.
I was playing a Fisher Cat Assassin.
and I was playing a rat monk who eventually became priest.
Can't play the Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
I would totally watch that.
Yeah,
Or play
and
that.
the one we're doing now is Cyberpunk.
I know you like to watch.
I've done space-based ones. The LARP's Vampire I played a lot of World of Darkness.
Have you played
World of Darkness does both LARP and tabletop, and I played both. And they do vampire, werewolf, mage, changeling.
I was actually about to add
A lot of more
there's
horror-based
there's a
stuff.
game called Werewolf, I think. And
Yep.
I know a
Werewolf's
couple
nuts.
friends of mine who play that, and they play I know a couple of board
Or,
games only
what
because, like I
else?
said, they
That's what I played.
Couple
they
of
played,
cool name drops.
Sheriff of Nottingham, I think it was which is I think just a board
Yeah,
game,
I mean,
but
the great thing, role playing is itself. No matter which game you start off with, the system is role playing experience is still role playing experience.
Yeah.
The only thing the system changes is the rules and what
the
types of dice to use and what to
mechanics.
roll to determine success or failure. But essentially, role playing is still role playing. It's just the rules change from system to system.
The way I've described to people who've never roleplayed is it's improv theater for geeks. It's improv theater with dice and math and combat.
if you bring food into it, it becomes dinner theater with geeks.
Dinner theater with geeks.
We combine three of the best things: dinner, theater, geeks.
I'm not gonna lie, you're speaking my language now.
Drunk role playing is amazing.
What is it?
Drunk role playing.
Trunk role playing? Drunk role playing.
Yeah, once we get a few drinks.
I'm drinking many times in our games.
I was thinking that sometimes there's, yeah. I mean, I like doing anything drunk, honestly.
I told you to have you guys come over on Thursday night sometime too.
We should.
Yeah.
No, but
I'd have
after
to
next week. But
yeah, I'd have to, yeah.
We'll save that for next week.
After this next weekend, we have one more guy, Paul Eaton. He's part of Galactic Comics. I keep saying gaming.
Yeah.
And he's coming on the 10th, I believe.
Come on, Dave.
After that,
Get with it.
I'm stuck until like April vacation. Going on a nice vacation. So this whole
We're gonna have
thing,
to get a cardboard cutout of Dave.
you're going to have to. You guys are going to do the
That's true.
podcast without me. You could travel anywhere down south if you want. We've got the
We'll
means
follow you while you're on your vacation. We'll literally just drive behind you.
Can you do me a favor? Later, when Carrie gets here, say that in front of her.
Do you think I have a fucking death wish?
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
No, I think we're only going to Boston anyway. I mean, we're only going to be right down the road.
I thought you guys were going to like DC or...
No, we were going to go
whatever the
to
fuck.
Virginia Beach and then go back to DC and hang out in Wilmington, but we're just like, I don't want to go that far.
Don't blame you, really.
Yeah. Plus, there's things in Boston I've been wanting to do for a little bit.
Boston's awesome.
So, I'm gonna keep going with this LARPing thing because I keep having like all these questions and like all these things happening. So, the DM does everything, or is there other judges?
No, the DM pretty much decides the final outcome. You can have conversations with the DM or try to argue your point or role play them. And as much as the rules are there, as even John will confirm, role playing trumps the rules. Yep. If you role play through a situation, talk your way through it in such a way that you accomplish your goal without having to roll a dice, that's certainly possible. Yep. And most DMs encourage that.
I will say LARP games go a little differently because LARPs tend to be much bigger.
Then you get charisma.
And so you need more than one person running it.
But
Right.
it's not just
That's what I was thinking.
But it's
Yeah.
not just about
Charisma
storytelling. You could be
100.
an excellent novelist, but still be a terrible DM.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you need to be able to let the players explore your world and not try to pigeonhole them into one path they have to follow.
Right.
Otherwise, they're just not gonna have a good time.
I imagine
so
it
you
goes
feed
the
them
other way.
enough-
You can't have too many like fantastical things happen. It starts raining boulders and meteors, and it's like the end of the world.
But you
Half of you die.
But you have to improvise. I mean, you shouldn't be running
Raining
after people all the time
cars.
as a DM.
Right.
But every once in a while, you will have to think on your feet. The players go off track. You might have to introduce an NPC randomly that you weren't expecting to get them onto the right path again. Type of thing.
Like with the game we're doing right now, I'm pretty sure John did not expect me to build a cyborg police dog who has sort of taken over.
How does that happen? How does that so you built this cyborg police dog, and how is it taking over? Is it taking over other like LARPers or
this is for the Silver Paladin game, so it's the tabletop game. But it's just when we built Sparky, he just. So when you build a character for GURPS, you have a certain number of points to spend on your sheet.
Okay.
So I basically used the minimum number of points I could on my human character, who's Sparky's handlers, and dumped everything else into Sparky. And this is just on a whim. Because it was just me sitting down to create the character and go, hey, can I have a police dog?
Yeah. Now I'm like coming up with this whole like narrative like in my head if like if you were to encounter
terrifying.
That's funny.
He rips limbs off. He's disemboweled people.
What? Cujo.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a cyborg. He's got like.
He's a cyborg. I went full android with that character.
Yeah. His
full robot.
android.
Yeah, I was like, I'm coming up with this whole narrative in my head, like where you encounter like a cyborg police dog. I'm like, I teach you to fat. Roll for initiative. 7. The dog bites your genital off or something.
That's happened. It happened. Do not joke about it.
Okay, and that brings up the point that I love about this is why I'll always like if given a choice. I mean, I love video games. I do.
Dog mistakes you for a female dog.
Video game or playing a tabletop game, role playing. I'm gonna choose tabletop role playing.
Yeah.
Its simple matter is, you're not restricted to a program's limitations.
Right.
As long as you just know what you want to do and use your imagination and say you're doing it, as long as the DM allows it and reasons it's possible, you roll the dice to see if you're successful.
Yeah.
Has that cyborg police dog mistake someone for a female dog yet?
No.
And I just tried to,
Up in its leg.
yeah,
That's
He-
probably
get
the
it on.
concept that I love most about it. Is that the game takes place
ripped
in the
limbs
collective
off.
imagination.
He got someone
Yeah.
in the genitals once, and it was horrific.
You don't always have to attack enemies at center mass. You can say, no, I'm going to target his leg or
But
arm or
he's-
something.
but
You have
he's-
that option there.
He's a 300-pound metal dog.
Damn,
He's
that's
huge.
like a
and scary.
polar bear.
I'd say about
He's built
90%
like a
of the things in
Rottweiler.
our game consist of genital mutilation in some capacity.
Yeah, that sounds like my kind of game. I like genital mutilation.
One instance of genital mutilation in the game.
It's the best thing that happens. I don't know why.
It's just like
6 months
AO,
from now, we're going to hear
like
about the new
adults
game
only.
just called genital
I
mutilation.
think it's because everybody
It's
can
like
relate.
AO adults only.
I think it's because everybody can relate to its pain. That's all.
Probably not as much as Dave.
Well, I mean,
Because he has no genitals.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
All right, you got me.
You got me.
Let me turn my phone off. That's so funny. So I have a question also from our audience here, King Spider.
Oh no!
Are all? Well, it's not a question from him, but he said all NPCs are named NPCs are named Bob. Okay, well, what's that? Is
What's the
that
story behind that?
Yeah.
Well, I think as you're referring to, was he saying like not all NPCs, or was he saying all NPCs?
All NPCs are named Bob.
All NPCs named Bob. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, that goes in line, I think, with preparing as a DM. And one of the tips is I learned going is have a list of like names generated beforehand, because you may have to come up with a PC, and your world's not going to look very three-dimensional if every NPC which if you're not familiar with non-playable characters,
Right.
Yeah. Is named Knob. So it's like they can't look like character cutouts.
Yeah, you basically you
so-
have two different types of NPCs. You have the ones that the GM has already created. That are,
Thank you, John, by the way, for that comment.
Yeah, that are managed to drive plot. And then you have the ones that the GM has to come up with on the fly because you need to interact with someone right then.
You interact with Hank, and he's just Terry Crews.
Well, like, we're doing the game we're playing right now. We're all playing cops, and sometimes we're like
Cops?
Yeah.
We're like beat cops in a
Yeah.
harsh dystopian future in like the worst block of the worst part of this
Yeah.
district.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's like, we're gonna go interview witnesses, and you've got to come up with witnesses on the fly.
Gotcha. I don't know if I could think that fast. I might be able to. I'm not sure.
definitely
Yeah,
This guy who
I mean,
witnessed
most
the crime
games will
from
have-
outside the window
most
is
of
named
your-
Ignacio.
If you're running a game, most time you'll you'll have most of your NPCs prepared ahead of time.
Oh, well, this is my witness,
Sometimes what may
Felipe.
happen is you may.
So you do your
the
homework
minority
before you
would-
start playing.
Oh, you gotta do some. How much work depends on your as the style as a DM. As you GM and run games more, you'll get a chance to decide like how much you prefer to prepare and not prepare.
I mean,
if you over prepare, it becomes difficult because then you have a tendency to railroad your characters,
Right.
Your players.
the last game that I ran
It's
a
not a
D&D
real
campaign
podcast
that
until you bring
I created
race
the
into
world
it.
for it. I created alternate history Renaissance Rome that my characters were playing within.
Okay.
And I literally had a stack of notebooks this tall of stuff that I'd written. I'd done maps, I'd done random encounter tables, I'd written up NPCs, I'd written up plot stuff.
Super prepared.
Yeah, no, because
And you kind of have to be, though, right?
yeah, because there's only so much I can come up with on the fly. And I
Right.
was coming up with a lot of things, like I wasn't expecting that my players were going to reach into a chest that was covered in protective runes and pick up the idol in it. I hadn't planned for what is that going to do to you. Well, you picked it up, now I need to come up
Yeah.
with something terrible to happen to you. Well, which was that...
The idol was the Ark of the Covenant, and now your skin melted off.
It was a Cthulhu idol. Why would you pick up a glowing Cthulhu item from a chest
Because
with protective
people
runes all
love
over?
shiny things.
So they pick it up, and I was like, well, you can't. It's not letting you put it down. It's
You're
doing
cursed.
necrotic damage every
Yeah.
round until someone can figure out how to get it out of your hands.
Oh, it binds to your character.
But
Now what are you gonna
occasionally,
do?
though, you will have to think of an NPC on the fly in certain situations. So it's usually because, as simple as you try to create the game, players will find a way
Yep.
to go entirely different directions you never expected,
yes.
and put the entire campaign on its. So,
Like I'm pretty sure that
Infuriating.
I'm pretty sure that
It opened up a gateway to hell, and we're in hell now.
Sarah, who's your tech, wasn't a plan until we suddenly needed the tech.
Yeah,
I can imagine the
And
frustration.
sometimes you'll have an NPC prepared, like, okay, I'm playing this NPC in the tavern. They'll find him and he'll get some information.
Right.
Players never go to the tavern, so like, well, they kind of need this information. So instead of meeting them there, they're gonna meet him on the road on the way.
So now
You just have to move the NPC and plant him somewhere else, so the players will meet him.
You're just sitting there waiting, and then nobody shows up.
So if that happens, because the players need that free will, they need to be able to feel like they're choosing their own, and most of them they are generally.
Right.
But at the same time, you have a story planned out, you have an adventure, and you need to find some way to motivate them or get them on the right track again to what they're need to accomplish.
I don't think I could be I'd get frustrated too easily. I'm like, oh, it opened up a gateway to hell. We're in hell now, and I'd just be like, Steve.
Damn it! So happy.
This is the ninth time we've gone to hell.
They have gone in
Stop.
They made terrible decisions that made the whole game go to hell. And you're
my
you're
God.
desperately trying to steer them back on the right course or away from total disaster. Like,
I don't know, man.
You should not be, randomly hitting beggars in the kneecaps on the street because you want to.
So I'm a little
The
more
entire
intrigued about.
town guard is now after you.
One of these days, I might try this stuff out because
I was gonna say-
making things up is probably sounds to me like the funnest part.
Now-
Well, what's the thing? But generally speaking, if a character
We
wants
need
to do
to
that,
do it.
there's nothing stopping the character to do it. But you
There will be
understand, but there's
consequences.
consequences in the world. The DM is responsible for the world reacting to your decisions. If you want to go around just punching everyone on the street, guess what? There's going to be consequences.
DM's gonna be like, guess what, dude?
Why is the entire town's police force coming after? Well, what did you think was going to happen?
Okay, so
This is a game I played in years ago.
Now we need to
where
do it. You know that, right?
My brother was playing in this game, and my brother's not known for great decisions, and he's playing a halfling bard, so a little hobbit, and he's like, I'm gonna go up to that beggar and hit him in the kneecaps because I want to, and rolled a critical hit and killed
Oh my god.
the beggar, and suddenly the entire town guard is after this beggar bashing halfling, and we're like, we now have to flee the town because of you.
That sounds like a nickname in Fable.
I
Beggar
can-
Basher.
I can see it now. Winterhouse Silver Paladin Tabletop Edition.
Oh yeah, it's gotta happen.
First time we've ever played any tabletop game ever. Die within the first 25 minutes.
If it wouldn't be effective,
only
it would
instantly
straight up just
dies,
be
like,
hilarious.
That's the
So
worst
Simpsons,
thing.
Where Homer comes home from playing D&D.
I don't
It's
think,
like what do you think? I'm like, where I was playing D&D, killed by an elf.
Tony's
the
tabletop
dice are very
game
fickle.
strategy:
The dice are so
die
fickle.
as quick as I can. So he just like try to make all of the worst decisions to die as quick as he possibly could.
I would have to just drink a lot and just keep going and just.
You at some point just get to the point where you're like, I understand my character.
Yeah, drinking
can
our
die
games is pretty
any
frequent.
time.
Yeah.
Do not
yeah.
get
We-
too attached.
Kraken is a very popular drink at our gaming table.
Yeah,
Us-
that's good.
Listen, us playing a tabletop game is a win-win scenario. It's either going to be effective or it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Or
Or both.
Or both.
It's successful or just
Like,
watch it crash and burn and
like
enjoy
this last game,
the.
I
And
believe
it's
that
guaranteed that Tony's gonna die within like the first like
No,
15
it's-
minutes.
Like,
I don't know,
this
you never-
last game, I cannot believe that kicking a bomb worked. Kicking a bomb, making it go away from us, works.
I think it depends on the bomb. The bomb had already been activated.
Yes, the bomb was going off no matter what.
There are sometimes bombs there could be inactive bombs that a slight touch could set it off.
Yep.
So it's a gamble when you come to do that move.
But
So-
this bomb was active and was about to detonate, so it's like, what are we gonna do? Kick it!
I'm
You
going to
could
put,
have lost your
I'm
leg.
gonna put the
so-
bomb in
And
my
it works.
colon.
No, we don't-
in your colon, and then you just kick it there.
It's one of those things. And
I mean,
until
your character had to tear off his own chest plate.
yeah, well,
inside.
my robot has like I think we're probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it was as an antimatter
Antimatter reactor. core.
antimatter reactor core in my system, and then we put a bomb in it when you tried to reprogram me, but I managed to reprogram myself back. And it's so, but I'm like, this thing's beeping. If it blows up while it's inside of me, this entire city becomes a giant crater. Like,
Game
it's
would've
not
been
that the
over.
bomb would do it, it's the bomb blowing up my antimatter reactor
Yeah,
that would cause it.
game would've been over
So
at
I
that
literally
point.
pulled off my own chest plate, dug in my own parts as a robot, pulled the bomb off, and chucked it out the window successfully. It blew up mid-air as it was falling.
Okay, so
We're going to roll for this.
So walk
and
me
it
through
turns-
this. Walk me through this. Okay, you just said it right now. You roll for things. Okay, so if you are going to attempt to pull off your chest plate and remove the bomb, you have to roll for that?
It's called a strength check. in that
Okay, so
case.
how... walk me through that, because I'm not sure.
Your character, when you roll it up, has stats. Now, depending on the role-playing system, it's either a level-based system or a point-based system usually. Level system, you gain a level, you gain abilities that way.
That's what D&D does.
Yeah, point-based system is what GURPS does and many others do, where you have a certain number of points, you spend those points. You have some basic stats. You have a strength score, which by default is 10, whether you can buy it up at 10 points per level in the example of this question. So, for example, if you have a strength of 15, on GURPS you roll 3d6. If you roll less than the 15 on 3d6, you succeed. Unless, depending on if there's any negatives. Sometimes there's negatives based on certain situational things.
Or they're...
But for some reason I was covered in oil or something and I was slippery, and I might have a negative trying to pull the thing off. So that can change things.
Oh, oil. Okay,
Or
no,
like-
I had a way different image in my mind.
I'm just
There's a difference between oil and lube.
I'm just saying. Yes. I chose my words very deliberately.
Why is
So he was covered in KY jelly.
I did. Wow. No, I was just saying, it's just an example of how things can change. So
That's
why-
your rolls are really hard. Like your will check for reprogramming
This is
yourself
why
like
Winterhouse
eight.
Gaming probably
Because
would
when
not
I
play
broke myself, I had
these things.
I think a wisdom score of 12.
I was just about to say,
but
there's going to
I-
be like an intelligent thing.
But I had a -8 to try and reprogram myself. It took me like two or three tries. I can remember.
I think it was 2.
Two. The second
But you
time I made it.
critted the second time.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. There's crits and failures in most systems. With GURPS, if you roll 3 1s, that's a critical success. If you roll 3 6s, that's a critical failure, and bad things can happen.
Okay.
Very.
I had a weapon blow up with that, and damn near killed me and the party member next to me.
Wow.
It's like, as you roll 3 6s, it turns out that your degree
Oh, it
in
was like this-
thermodynamic physics was
Or-
It was like this energy weapon that I
and
fully
you
charged
killed
up,
everyone.
and it just
Yeah.
Or we
like, does that supposed to make that noise?
we had another or not this week before we had another player's character who got his head blown off just because it was a critical hit. And suddenly his brain splatters over the wall.
And then
Yeah,
it just happens.
DMs shouldn't go out of the way to try and kill players, but death is a
Right.
real part of the game.
Right.
It can happen through random rolls of the dice, or just really bad decisions.
Or decisions where
Bad
characters
luck, yeah,
decide
that's how the dice come
to
in.
sacrifice themselves, which happened in the Bunnies and Burrows game.
Right.
Or in another game previously that I played in, the game literally sacrificed me. We're playing this Cthulhu campaign that Cody in the group was running at the time.
Of course, it's Cody.
Yeah, and I had been inflicted mentally by this Cthulhu Mythos creature. I was under his control or getting to that point. I was losing my sanity over it. So they got to an altar and they're like, "Hey, we need to finish this ritual to try and get rid of it. We need a sacrifice." Well, he's gone anyway. So they threw me on the table and sacrificed me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Thank you, John. By the way, that was his decision.
And like, you need to disarm the bomb. I'd probably be like, well, I jump on it, and Kelly'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's
dude, you
happened.
just have to disconnect the red wire. I'm like, I
In
jump
the
on
Bunnies
it.
and Burrows game, we had he was playing a mage, right?
What's that?
Vinny was playing a mage.
Bert was, I think. What?
No, the one-
Vinny was a mage too. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I forgot. Yeah, he did have
And
magic.
we're scouting out this army, and they've got like barrels of kerosene. So he calls down lightning on these barrels of kerosene within the area of effect, and there was nothing left of his character.
I can only imagine
He
good
was
things would happen.
vaporized by this explosion, but it took out a third of that army.
Hey, I mean that's sort of a success. A little.
I mean, I guess if you want to kill someone off, but
Yeah.
for like a good
was-
cause,
If I know
guess
I
that would
might
be-
die,
It
I just
was
go in all
a
balls to the wall.
legendary self-sacrifice.
I see no
Yeah.
way that could go wrong.
Yeah. Like you might die, but
Absolutely
you're
not.
gonna
Gone
take
over
out
every
whatever
detail
else
of it.
around you,
But
too.
as far as getting into it,
Like,
though,
go out well.
it's role playing is one of those things where you won't really know how good you're at it or how much you enjoy it until you actually sit down and try it.
Yeah.
Right.
And until you actually sit down, sometimes people you might surprise yourself. I'm not very good at this. Then you sit on like, wow, I really get into this. This is
And
really
then-
awesome. And you trying to make really good decisions instead of the poor ones you thought you'd make.
And then, depending on what you're doing, I've known people who've gone in, created characters with the express purpose of, I know this character is going to die, but I'm going to do this because I'm going to have fun doing it.
Or you try to create like a legendary character
My-
that has
my
like
boy-
one
my
sole
boyfriend
purpose
did
to
this in a
sacrifice themselves for the better
where
purpose.
he went in with the sole purpose, with the, GM's permission, to go in and sow as much chaos as he could. And he did.
Yeah, people going
And
in
he
with an
lasted,
agenda.
and he lasted.
My brother would do that.
He lasted He managed to last
Fucking
2 games,
asshole.
which is 1 game
Right.
longer than he thought he would.
At the first,
But it was,
the first
cause
opportunity, I'm going
maximum
to betray the
chaos
whole
to
group.
shake up the game, which is exactly
At the
what
first
he did.
opportunity, Tony's just gonna cut the red wire and blow everyone up.
I fully expect my vampire character, who I have weird plans for, is her own sire is going to kill her at some point.
Wow.
Because I'm doing things that I know that he's not going to like.
That's funny. That
And
I mean,
it's a
that's
very good chance that he's going to kill her, and he can, because the guy playing it, he's been playing this character in the LARP for like 8 years. It's got a massive amount of XP built up. It has abilities.
Wait, so
Bruhá probably
your
shouldn't have.
character could transfer XP and everything to another game? Is that what you just mentioned?
No.
I thought that's what I just heard.
The guy whose character is my sire in the game
Okay.
has been playing that character for 8 years.
In the same game.
So he's how much higher level, more experience,
Okay.
more
Yeah,
hours,
he has
more skills.
so many extra points. He could squash
Like
her
us
like a
and
bug.
like us and Monster Hunter and him just
Yeah.
starting out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
He could squash her like a bug at this point. And I'm deliberately doing things that I'm pretty sure are going to piss him off.
Yeah.
So you can just
fun.
completely just
But if you manage to survive and it doesn't kill you, it's even more
It's
impressive.
going to be amazing.
you can
It's
just
going to
create
be
throwaway
amazing.
characters.
So if somebody if you're playing, like, let's say we're all playing right now.
Okay.
This scenario. Let's say, for instance, Tony getting on my
Hi.
nerves, very common, and I wanted to fuck him over in the game. I mean,
like-
you could,
Oh, you can totally do it.
you could just do it. Nobody would really know.
It
Or
depends
you-
on how you do
He would
it.
know.
It would be hilarious to be like, I'm gonna fuck Tony over.
I've been in games where players have killed
And he's
other
dead.
players.
Yes. So
Yeah.
It can happen.
It's a perfectly normal occurrence,
it
probably.
happened the last LARP I was at.
People get rage. People
yeah.
get very upset about
There
this
are
stuff,
there are
like,
consequences in game and outside the
Only
game for doing that,
consequences.
but it's certainly there's nothing preventing your character from doing
Yeah.
it.
I played in a.
Okay.
But if you
It's just
start
your own
killing-
morality,
But if you
I
start
guess.
killing every player you're game with, don't be surprised if you don't get invited to games after that.
And keep in mind.
So
That's the ultimate.
there's just some real life consequences
and
if you
keep in
start
mind
killing all the
there
players
will also
around
be
you.
consequences if you do something that's against your character's nature.
kicking that down.
For example, I was doing a D&D campaign where this guy who's playing this incredibly annoying character ended up with a doppelganger. And my solution was, I'm just going to cut both of their throats. And I could do it because my character's alignment was such that I could do it. And the paladin in the game had to stop me because paladins can't allow that to happen.
Right. That's funny.
Oh yeah,
couldn't
paladins are
imagine.
kind of like the holy knight. They probably
I
have
was
the,
totally for-
the morality kind of side
Yeah.
of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
Or-
can be fun too. So
And you can totally play games where people don't have a whole lot of morality. I play a vampire game.
I mean, if you never expect to play with these people again,
If you're playing Vampire,
You
there's
could go all out
two basic types of vampire. There's the Camarilla, and they're the ones who are a bit more Anne Rice vampires. They're nicer. The Sabbat basically go, we like being vampires. We're not. We're going to show maximum chaos. We're gonna kill people. All of that stuff, and that's what I'm playing right now. And you can totally just. You end up. The Sabbat has set its own rules to keep everyone from ganking each other.
that's so funny.
So if you
So
kill
they're
another
like the
character,
pure like chaotic evil.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you kill another character outside of certain rules, basically the rest of the Sabbat's going to turn on you because you're not. They have to, maintain order. But it's totally allowed to kill other characters as long as you do it the proper way.
yeah, and there's
Right.
also many role playing things that might cause you to out of your control anyway. In a battle, you could fumble and your
Yeah.
shot misses your target, but it could hit an ally.
Yeah, that's happened.
and that's all?
Someone
I-
roll like four fumbles.
Who chooses that it misses
And
the
if an enemy has a way of manipulating you or controlling you somehow,
Is
it
that
could
all
force you to attack
controlled
against the
through
party.
rolling? Like stuff, like random events like
Some
that
of it
happening?
is,
Is
yeah.
it controlled through rolling or
Well,
So what's
especially-
the question?
like when, like say if you were going to shoot someone and you had to roll for a strength check or whatever?
It's usually dex for shooting because
Dex
it's
for shooting?
accuracy.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
so-
and
Come
most
on,
systems,
Kelly.
Yeah, there's also like for games with grips, is like a separate skill for it. You have to like,
Yeah.
you have to if you want to know how to use a shotgun, there's a specific skill to know how to use shotgun. Doesn't mean doesn't mean you know how to rifle. It just means you know how to use that one.
So you roll for dexterity, and then to determine whether you hit this person or not, or if it misses, if you miss your roll on dexterity, determine what the consequences are. Is there another roll for that?
It depends on the DM. Sometimes like they'll have a list of things that happens if you fumble.
Ah, okay.
And
usually like
then you roll, the DM will roll for that, and just randomly it'll come up with what it is.
I've just been
It could
wondering
be like a
how,
stray shot. It could be hit an ally.
Yep.
It could be gun stopped working.
and then they
be
just
gun explodes
randomly
in your
choose
hand.
what ally that you hit or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually like
Backfire
okay,
and your face
and that,
falls
there's no
off.
rules in that. Let's say this six players. You could just say okay, and they're all in combat. Roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and would say that's where you hit.
And like if you're trying to figure out where something hits, sometimes the DM will just decide, okay, it hits them in the arm, or you can do what I like, and I have a body part die. And I can roll, and it will come up what body part gets
See,
hit.
I like
and I
that.
love that die
It's
so
turn like
much.
black and
It takes
awesome.
it puts the excitement in the game because you never know where you're going to hit them.
But it's also
I kinda like that.
called shots, especially in GURPS. So
Called shots, yeah. And
There's a
you-
negative
there's
to
a
it, like
negative
I'm going to shoot directly in the eye. You got a huge negative, but if you make it, you shoot them directly in the eye.
I mean, there was. I think John had set this up to be a big like battle, and there was this mage who basically could absorb spells, and my assassin goes, "I'm gonna shoot him in the head," and I critical hit. Combat over.
Okay.
That whole battle's over,
Hits him
and
in the head.
we were still in the surprise round. No one on the bad guy side even had a chance to react.
It's a little bit
We just ended the
anticlimactic,
fight.
but it worked.
Yeah, hit him in the head, and then the mage put everyone to sleep, and we went around and basically executed all the guards while
Nice.
they're asleep.
So
What were you gonna say, Dave?
Oh, I was just kind of thinking like you've given us so much information on this. Like now, I feel like I would probably try it to kind of see what it's all about.
Yeah, I definitely
I
feel
think
like
that we
I
should
could
set
get
that
into
up
it.
sometime in the future.
I think even all of us would be down for that. Just we
I want to see how he plays something like this. That's what I'm most curious about.
You could arrange like a just a one-nighter, like a one-shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to try it?
it would have
Quick
to be like
campaign.
a 6-7
Yeah.
hours. I probably could sit there and do that. But who knows? It might.
You can do a
get
one-shot in
into
3 or 4 hours.
You could be surprised how into it you get.
That's
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I don't
Good.
know. I don't know right now because I've never done it. I know how my attention span is with card games, which is not great
And-
because it's one solid thing that's kind of
Yep.
boring to me. But
And the other thing
this
is,
other thing where you have more, to think about, to do,
Yeah.
to talk about, to come up with, you're thinking consistently and just trying to figure that
and
out.
I say things like don't get too attached to your character, but at the same time, especially
hard not to.
longer,
It's
especially
hard.
To fall in love with them and stuff.
And plus, the longer you play it, the more in this character's head you've gotten,
Yeah.
the more their personality, their
Yeah.
background you built up.
And the more painful it feels, like I don't want this character to die. He might die. I really don't want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked so hard on this. He's survived so long.
Yeah, we definitely
Like,
should.
if anything happens
Yeah.
to Sparky, I will be heartbroken.
We should definitely step this
Everyone
up.
will be heartbroken.
but it's-
Everyone
Yeah, I
will be
agree. It could be fun.
But
Just get really drunk and do it.
In a nutshell, the idea of role playing is just use your imagination.
Right.
Try and don't think like you. To try to create a character in your mind and try to give that character a personality.
Yeah.
Maybe it's quite different than yours,
Yeah.
and try to think what that character would
Yeah,
do.
my-
Once you decide what you do, whether or not succeed is usually based on a dice roll, which is based on particular stat your character has, and that
Right.
decides success, failure, criticals, critical failures.
When I'm making a character, a lot of times all I'll do is going, okay, I'm going to take this aspect of my personality and sort of take it to an extreme.
Right.
Like with the GURPS game we're playing right now, I'm an animal lover. I love animals. So Maria is very attached to Sparky. Sparky is her baby. You hurt Sparky, you're in so much trouble.
And that's probably why you placed less emphasis on the character and more
Exactly.
And
on
she doesn't
the
have,
animal.
and she doesn't have to tell Sparky to attack you.
No.
You harm her, he just responds automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
Very violently.
let's
Or my vampire character is taken from the fact that I'm very passionate about things. And I'm playing a Brewha. Brewha, that's their sort of thing, they're very passionate. But I'm also like really into true crime. So,
Right.
and I really love Jessica Jones. So I build my character around, she's basically a modern
So excited about season
I've
2.
never
I
seen
thought you were talking
Season
about
two-
like true crime
season two
shit.
comes out, very excited
Like, I don't know
about that.
why.
She's essentially a modern noir character.
Snoop Dogg.
Is
Yes.
what I built. But she also takes like, my temper and ramps up to 11. And you mess with her and she's going to beat you down and she's not going to shoot you. She's going
See?
to beat you into the
Now,
ground.
if I played a game like this, I would want to create a character that was sort of based off of Ivar the Boneless or Ragnar from Vikings, who always had a plan and they were very brutal and always had a plan for that
Yep.
plan if that plan failed.
Oh,
Right.
that sounds like a very
fires like
Kelly thing
yeah,
that
totally
would happen. So what were we gonna say,
In the
Dave?
sense of
I was
D&D,
just-
you're looking either probably fighter, barbarian.
Barbarians,
Yeah.
barbarians are fun.
But
Yeah,
in
that's what I would
terms
wanna
of
do.
GURPS, it's much more versatile, depending on what system
Half-orc barbarians are fun to play.
Yeah. So I'd like to kind of segue over to like I said, you've given us so much things to think about.
There's a lot of knowledge.
A lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
You can absorb it.
Overwhelm
I'd like to
people.
kind of move from the tabletop to the actual virtual. The games that we play and the things that we do, Final Fantasies, Monster Hunter World, stuff like that.
Yep.
Ask you guys a few questions. We'll spend probably another 10 minutes on that, then wrap it up. So you guys play. I've seen you play games. You guys play a lot of like retro, and you also play a lot of PC.
Yeah,
games.
I mean, most of my video game streaming has been under the Controller Throwers group.
Right.
I would like to try and get some more video game streaming under Silver Paladin Gaming. I mean, the purpose of Controller Throwers, that's something different, and we're going to talk more about that next week.
Correct.
But that's more about overly frustrating games.
Right.
So SPG is not necessarily, it's more about just having fun. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a frustrating game, just a game that's just fun to play, sit down, enjoy it with your friends.
That's what I like to do with Winterhouse Gaming. That's why I play a lot of
It's variety
RPGs.
streaming like we do.
Exactly. That's more what
I'll be right back.
That's more what I type. More about the stuff I type.
No, you can't leave. What are you doing?
When it comes to streaming video games for SPG?
Real bad.
He right here.
That's sort of how the
Right here.
differs how they stream video games.
Right.
In my mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. No, that totally makes sense.
And see, that's my thing. When I'm playing video games and streaming for Winterhouse, I like to be having fun. I like to be playing a game that I can be engaged with and not be overly mad at. Something that people can ask questions about. I can go, do things. Maybe someone has a suggestion and what they want me to go do. I can just.
So when you're kind of doing like a streaming channel, you kind of decide what you want to do, and realistically, at the end of the day, for us, we have three very different ideas on what we like. We have different personas, we have different views, all this stuff. Variety is the only word for it, really. I play indie games. I love indie platformers. I have like a weird obsession with them right now.
He does. It's crazy.
Did you ever? How far did you end up making it in the Shadow of the Colossus?
I have 3 more to do, and I'm waiting for stream to do it.
Gotcha.
I think I've done all of them on stream so far, so I'm just kind of waiting for that.
I still haven't beat the final boss.
I've been with him for a lot of those.
The whole
actually.
game, but still never figured out the final boss.
I can promise you, it's probably going to happen in the next couple days. Like
Sweet. If you're streaming that live, I want to check it out.
I'll be there. I'll be there to watch it because I've been there for most of them that he's done.
Yeah, I was there for you Saturday morning when we first started it, but I never caught
that game. Oh man,
it's something else. It's something that I'm gonna buy within the
amazing.
next couple of weeks probably.
So
that bird was fun the first time I did it. That was a fun boss.
You mean the chicken dog?
No, the
flying bird.
The bird of the water.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was fun.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Like it was.
When you finally realize, wait, they're on the wings. Fuck.
I can't even.
Yeah, you have to stand on the platforms for it to come pick you up.
I can't even express the just feelings that you get when that happened. Like it's just larger than life, and it was just intense and fun. It was so cool.
I'm like,
so.
Is this game really going to be soaring this thing in the air? This is really happening right now.
Right.
Dude,
like,
Dave.
I'm like, this is so cool. And I'm like, oh my God, look what this.
Dave, remember that last one in the Coliseum that me and you were on when you last streamed last weekend? That big lizard type thing in the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah,
the poison
chameleon type.
Yeah, spitting
that was
the poison.
cool.
Dude,
I
that
love that
thing
one.
was
Yeah,
crazy.
he crawled up the side and you hit him under his belly.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy.
Sorry about that.
one.
You said like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm like,
I know, I should kind of give it
cannot hold
you,
this
so I can
animal.
get back to you. You're the ones who need
Yeah, no, that happens. We rear ourselves a lot. So, you guys, like, what? First of all, what's your favorite type of game to play? And we'll go around.
When I'm playing my own time, JRPGs. JRPGs is where it's at for me. I
have some friends at work that are the same
one of
way.
my favorite ones of all time is still Legend of Dragoon. I played that game so much.
I love
are
Legend
you
of
pumped
Dragoon.
about the remaster of Secret
God.
of Mana?
It's already out, man.
Yeah. I've been wanting to check that out. I actually never played the original yet.
Yeah, and neither have I.
I got the Super
Neither
NES
have I.
Classic for Christmas, and it's got Secret of Mana on it, and I need to sit down and play it again.
So
Yeah, it's.
I didn't even
but the
know
one
it
was
was
like,
out.
I don't. I mean, I could start streaming those. I don't typically stream. There's sometimes a lot of level grinding in that.
It's hard.
And then like I start to think this is really entertaining for viewers. Do they really need to see me do this over and over and over again?
I mean, don't get me wrong, the story's great, and I love experiencing the story, but, like, I found out that, like, I tried to stream Final Fantasy IX the other day, and I just found out that, like, I get distracted by myself, like, a lot.
Yep.
And so when I'm trying to, like, pay attention to the story, I realize that, like, the people that technically kind of come in to watch my stream are really kind of, like, not so much focused on, like, what's happening, like story-wise in the game.
Yeah.
They
Right.
just like to focus on the banter, and I can't really talk a lot when the story's
Exactly.
going on.
Right.
And I'm very story-driven with games, so
am too.
and JRPGs are just that's what they are. They're stories. Like
I'm so glad you said Legend of the Dragoon.
Yeah,
That was my
they
favorite.
have some of the best stories, and I'm like,
So long.
so that's why I tend to stick to them. Like, if a game has a good story, I'm gonna get into it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Virtual, yeah.
And the only other things I really
Virtual
play
games, video
is
games.
I like puzzle games.
Instead
I
of
always like
tabletop,
puzzle
you
games.
get-
No, I didn't know if we were like
So
segmenting
I
virtual
like
reality or not.
getting obsessed. I don't know if any of you
I
played
have it
Gems
too.
of War. It's like a gem
Never heard of
switching
that.
puzzle combined with like a card-based RPG.
What was the game? What was the game called?
Gems of War.
Oh, I saw that on there.
Yeah, it's fun.
I-
It's one of those games I can sit down and
Is it
play for
like-
10 or 15 minutes
It's
and
like
then put
Candy
it to both
Crush?
sides. It's a little like Candy Crush, except that you're also got cards and you're attacking an opponent. And it's fantasy based.
He's like,
All
right.
Gems of War.
Hey,
The general
Everyone's got their thing.
It's all
That's
secret,
true.
it's
That is,
free.
there's another game I like for the GameCube.
But I'm thinking-
that did a similar thing. The battle was all done by
or
cards.
I just sat through and played through. I don't know if any
What
of you played
was that
Doki
game?
Doki Literature Club, which is so.
You know, I've heard
It's
so.
messed
What was that?
up.
I'm
drawing a
heard
blank right now. I
so
don't know
much
why.
about that.
But how about these islands in the sky? And
because I think I played that game.
Okay.
And I liked
Doki
it.
Doki Literature Club is just a basic flip through. It starts out like
Hokkaido's.
one of those really
Yeah.
cheesy
Yep.
Japanese
I like
dating
it.
sims.
Yeah, and
And
one of
then
my
it
friends
goes
that works.
way
Oh
off
god,
the
the
rails.
dating sims.
It starts out like
Like
that.
that
and I-
hateful
It's more of a-
boyfriend.
No, I don't
God.
like those games. I started
Dating.
playing this.
I admit they can be amusing sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't like those games, but friends said play Doki Doki Literature Club because it starts out like one of those and it goes way off the rails and goes really, really dark, really fast. And I did,
my
and it's like,
God.
oh my god, this is the most twisted game I've ever played.
This wouldn't be
Those
a
are so
podcast
funny.
if
It's
we
a
didn't
PC
mention
only
Eric.
game.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's on-
Eric.
it's on
But
Steam.
Yeah.
he's been trying to get
Yeah,
me to
it's a
play
Steam
Persona
game.
5.
Dude, that game is
I would- no,
amazing.
He's like, he's like,
Holy
he
crap,
tells me
game's
that
amazing.
game could have been $150, and I would have bought it.
Dude,
Dude, I bought
Easily.
the special edition, which was around 100. It's
I
worth
would-
every penny.
I saw the
I would play
soundtrack,
it.
the soundtrack on vinyl at Bolt.
Soundtrack's amazing. The story is
if
great.
you buy it, I'll play it.
Yeah,
It's one of those games where based on the prequels, I had a certain large expectation. Like, this is gonna be amazing, and it exceeded those expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I already had high expectations, and it went above that. I'm like,
Have you
how'd
played
get
it
into
once
this?
before it?
I played 4.
I've never played a Persona game ever.
I haven't either. So the experience-
Persona 4 is a really good introduction as well. Persona 4 and 5 are the where I'd recommend starting if you're gonna.
It kind of sounds like, because I feel like before that it was before it was Persona, and then the number it was Shin Megami Tensei.
Yep.
Persona.
Well,
and,
it's still part of the
yeah.
same general series. Yeah.
And I had an old roommate of mine when he had his DS or DSi, like way back when. He was really into the Shin Megami Tensei, and he played Devil Survivor for the DS, and he's just all
Yeah.
about it. And like I kind of like saw there was like kind of like a classroom, like a school simulator, and I was like, and I think that initial look of it probably turned people off, and then Eric was like, I totally understand where you're coming
Yeah.
from, but I promise you it's so
Yeah.
good.
Persona has a good mix of like combat and dungeon crawls, but also interaction, building relationships, doing daily activities, building up your skills. Like, you have to necessarily read books to increase your knowledge and stuff like that. And it's time management. Each day you only have a certain amount of time to do certain things, and you have deadlines for certain goals too. And there's also new game like certain stats, like certain things in the beginning of the game, especially in Persona 5, you can't really do at the beginning of the game because it's not possible to have a stat that high. But you play through the game once, you can do New Game Plus, you can start over and be able to do some of those things you couldn't do the first time.
And it's for me right now probably Persona 5 or Nier Automata.
Nier Automata.
Like
Yeah,
I
I cannot recommend Persona 5 enough, honestly.
So
it
this
sounds
game
like I
that
have
you-
to get it now.
This game that you play, do you play mobile games at all?
Some.
Because that particular game that you were talking about, I've played a couple of games like that on mobile because I think it's a
Yep.
very popular mobile platform.
Yeah.
As far as that game goes, the Big Hero 6, was it Big Hero 6?
I think so.
It's the same type of thing.
Yeah.
You have your guys going through like these
that a
roads,
movie?
and you come up to what?
I'm kind of talking out loud to myself.
His
I'm like,
brain's
I
not-
thought that was a movie.
No, it is. They made like a mobile
It's
game
also a
for it,
comic.
and you're on the road, and you're going down this road, and then you stop, and there's like these bullies, and you have to fight them by playing. I'm gonna keep calling it Candy Crush. I don't know what the actual
it's
word style it is.
just the gem switching. Yeah.
Gem switching? Is that what
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be the easiest way to
So I'm
explain
curious.
that.
I'm curious about about that because so many people are obsessed with that Candy Crush thing. Oh my God, they've made billions of dollars.
Yeah, I've never got much into mobile games,
but I've never heard
Neither
someone
have
say
I.
that they played that type of game on any sort of like console. So that's why I was kind of intrigued by that.
Well, it's PC. It's on Steam, so I'm playing it on my laptop.
It's on Xbox and
Some people-
PlayStation
but to
and
me-
all that.
Some people at work actually are really, really into Doki Doki Literature Club.
So
I've had friends who
Does that play this?
too.
Does that play the same?
Yeah.
I will send you
Would
the
you
info
play
on
it?
it. It's fantastic.
No.
Does that
It's
play?
really
Does it
messed
play
up.
the same way?
No.
No,
it's something different.
Not
a bit like a,
you see the kind of
base
games
and
that I
it's
play.
messed
Like, does
up.
that fit that
I'm much for
description?
Messed up.
Gaming on my home TV or screen. I do very little like mobile gaming.
Yeah.
I was even like this. Like I even like handheld consoles. I own a lot of the Nintendo handheld consoles, but I don't really play them that much.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I was
me.
kind of like when they came up with the attachment with the GameCube where I could plug in and play on my TV. I'm like, okay, now I'm happy.
Yeah.
I just want to play. I just want to play on a big screen, not this little tiny
Right.
screen.
It's like is there someone here? There might be. Okay, so the same reason why there's so many games over there that I don't even. I mean, we don't even really touch any of them.
I know.
But the
It actually
the
might
whole mobile
be
thing.
Aaron.
To have the
The whole
option.
mobile thing is massive.
Yeah.
It is
I have
absolutely
like
massive.
I think 2 or 3 mobile games. Oh, Aaron's back. I have like 2 or 3 on my tablet just for
Right.
killing time.
Did you guys see Stranger Things?
So yes,
I've seen the first season.
Have you tried the mobile game?
I haven't.
No.
You should You should try the mobile game. I think it's free. It is amazing. It's retro through and through.
I think
Absolutely
Really?
retro.
Most
It is-
of what I play on my tablet has been like Plague Inc.
It looks
which
like
is,
Zelda.
I'm going to destroy the world with virus.
yeah.
Love that game.
I played that. That was actually it's very addicting too. But the Stranger Things looks exactly like the original Zelda.
Really?
And it's really cool. And if you like the
That is
Stranger
kinda
Things,
cool.
you play through kind of an extended story of it, even though it's not sitting there. So we got Aaron back here. So what we'll do is we'll wrap it up because we're at 65 minutes. Actually, I think it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah. We're
so-
actually at 1 hour and 11 minutes.
perfect. Thank you. Is that exact?
That's exact.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge. Wrap it up.
Hey, I
guys.
have the exact recording timer on
so
my computer.
If anybody is interested in anything, tabletop RPG, these guys go check them out.
Yeah.
You can watch them
Definitely
play.
check them out.
Leave them a like on Facebook. Or like 16.
Every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time,
Yep.
we do our live streams.
Yep, and
It
that's
usually
a
runs
perfect
till
time.
9.
Usually runs to about 9.
Oh, so that's not
give or
too
take,
bad.
depending. So sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little after, depending on where it feels right to leave the story
Right.
off.
Yeah.
But roughly that.
That's cool. Yeah, go on and check them out. Share all their stuff, like all their stuff, and then if you have questions, they will answer your questions too. I'm assuming.
Oh, well, please, we welcome message. Comment us on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Message
It's actually
us on
a 2
Facebook.
question.
and they have all their
We'd love to hear
per
from
10
you. If you have
years.
questions, we'll answer them.
yeah, and they also do questions on their Twitch, their Facebook page,
Yes.
which is cool, and I love that. That's cool.
Just
It's a
geeky
whole
questions.
lo- like,
Just
yeah.
sort of looking for your opinion, like your feedback on it.
Yeah, it's like
Though
it's
John's
very
been on a few
engaging.
recently, where he slated a scenario and asked what you do.
Yeah, well, we talked about that. That's something he started to add as additional content aside from the questions.
Yeah.
Those aren't
Look,
meant
it-
as the
it
geeky
gets people
but those
thinking.
are still fun.
And there's been a few of them where I've wanted to have like a little bit of. I wanted to comment on them, but I'm like, I don't. How can I comment on this? I know nothing about this stuff.
So?
And I don't know. Right? No, that's
Answer based on your own
Yeah.
context and understanding.
that's the ending part of it. Like, so why not? Just do whatever. I've got an imagination. Everybody does. Well, thank you guys very much for coming here and joining us. And we'll definitely get together and do some tabletop gaming for the first time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see you and Aaron next week.
Yes,
We will.
Yes.
Next week,
We certainly will.
Control Throws will be on. And we're gonna have another good time. That's probably going to be an all day, all night thing too. So. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on Twitch. Also,
Thank you for having us.
And
That's
we'll
awesome.
see you
Hey,
guys
not a
later.
problem. Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.